So I'm pretty darn excited. Today we are going over the very last SMG that I need to go over for my gold camo guide. And that gun is going to be the UZI, which is of course why you guys are here. Today I am going over a very complete list of everything that you need to know on how to get the UZI gold very easily. I have a ton of timestamps down below so that you guys can go ahead and skip to whatever part that you need to go to. And that's going to consist of headshots, hipfires, crouch, long shots, shortly after reloading kills, mounted kills, some additional tips, and my UZI class setup. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into this video. So I do want to mention for just about every single one of these challenges, I'm going to recommend the 24/7 playlist, whichever it is. Usually it's the smallest map, at least at the time that I'm recording it is Shipment. So definitely make sure to abuse that playlist while going for these challenges, as it speeds up the process quite a bit. But anyways, for the first thing that we are going over, that's going to be headshots. Headshots, unfortunately, there isn't really any attachments to make it easier to get headshots. My only recommendation is to try and aim for the shoulders up or a little under the shoulders. Therefore, if you get shot, the recoil will kick your gun up to the enemy's head, and then you can get that headshot. Thankfully, headshots usually is not a problem, and by the time that you complete all the other challenges, you're usually done with those headshots. So if you are not done with other challenges, I would recommend going and completing those first, and then more than likely you'll complete the headshots at the same time. Play on closer quarter maps like I was talking about, that 24/7 playlist, and focus on those headshots. Next, we're moving on to hipfire kills, and we're going to be heading into the gunsmith for this. I have two attachment recommendations, and the first one is going to be heading over to laser and putting on the 5 milliwatt laser. Now this is going to be the absolute best attachment that I can recommend when going for these hipfires. This of course helps with that hipfire accuracy. The only downfall to this is that the enemies can see your sight or the laser sight. Although I find that that does not matter too much. The pros are definitely so much higher than the cons, and I would recommend running this. On top of that 5 milliwatt laser, I would recommend going over to your underbarrel and putting on the Merc foregrip. As you can see with the pros, this is going to help with that hipfire accuracy as well. The cons, you're just losing aim down sight speed, which doesn't matter whatsoever if you're focusing on those hipfires. There's really no other attachments that help with those hipfires. You could put on attachments that help with damage range, such as the 13.1 first responder or the factory carbine barrel. It just depends on your personal play style and what you're going to like the best. But overall, I would make sure that you're running that 5 milliwatt laser and the Merc foregrip. Next is crouch kills. Now crouch kills can kind of be annoying, and this is one of those ones that you're just going to have to kind of focus solely on. My only recommendation is going into your options, to your controller settings, and changing your button layout to tactical. This is going to make it when you hit down on your right thumbstick, if you are on console, that you're going to be able to crouch that way. That saves you from going over to your circle or B button, and overall just saves you time. You're able to crouch while in the middle of a gunfight without taking your finger off of the toggle stick. This is something that I use all the time. It really does help. On top of that, like I mentioned, just solely focus on those crouch kills. This will be one of those ones that you're going to have to just focus on and spend quite a few games on it. There's no really cheat code to getting it much faster, so just put it on tactical and just work from there. One thing that I have done quite a bit is just spent the majority of the time that I am alive crouching. Therefore, if someone comes around the corner, I'm already crouched and I can kill them. Please do not camp in a corner or a window. None of that stuff. That is not needed. That's going to take much longer to complete any of these challenges. Just please don't do it. Please. Next, we're heading over to Longshots. Now, I actually just started a series on my channel where I'm going to be going over every single map and the best longshot spots for each map. I've only done 1 or 2 of them at the time that this is uploaded, but make sure to check back periodically if that's something that you are interested in. For long shots, we're going to be heading back into that gunsmith and putting on a couple attachments. Again, this is going to be personal preference. Either put on the 13.1 first responder barrel or the 16.5 inch factory carbine barrel. The 16.5 inch factory carbine barrel is going to be better for those longer range maps that you're not going to be getting into gunfights instantly, like the ground war maps or the 10v10 maps. And the 13.1 inch first responder is going to be for those faster paced maps, but also trying to go for those long shots. The reason for that is because the 13.1 inch first responder barrel has a faster ADS speed, therefore making it better for those faster paced maps. And the 16.5 inch factory carbine barrel has a slower ADS speed, but it also helps with that recoil control. Next, I would head over to your barrel and put on the monolithic suppressor, which helps with your damage range as well. We're trying to heighten that damage range as much as possible. And then I would recommend putting it on any optic sight that you like. You can put on a sniper scope if you want. It really doesn't make a difference. I believe all long shots with SMGs are going to be 30 meters or higher, and that's not going to change depending on what optic sight that you put on. So put on what works best for you, and then we're going to be heading over to the ammunition. Now this is going to be the last attachment that I'm going to really recommend. Although this is going to affect your aim down sight speed, a lot of the times with those long range gunfights, you're going to be running out of ammo quite a bit, so I'd recommend either the 40 round mag or the 50 round mag. The 50 round mag, you're going to be slower with your movement and your aim down sight speed, but of course you're going to gain that extra 10 bullets. Usually I run the 40 round mag just so that I can move around a little faster. Again, personal preference. Make sure to play those larger maps. This is the only challenge that I'm going to recommend, playing those larger maps. So either play ground war or the 10v10 maps, and you're going to be able to get those a lot easier. Next, for the shortly after reloading kills, we're going to be heading back into the gunsmith, and we're going to be putting on one attachment and one perk. The attachment is going to be the monolithic suppressor, and the perk will be the sleight of hand. Now, thankfully, this challenge is so much easier than it used to be, but I'm going to go ahead and explain my process if I do not complete this by the time that I complete my other challenges. The perk sleight of hands, of course, is great because you can reload faster, and then the monolithic suppressor is going to go along with what I'm going to say to do. My process is when I load into a map or when I respawn, I'm going to shoot a single bullet. And when I see someone, or I think that someone's going to be coming around a corner or something of that sort, I will go ahead and reload and then kill them. If I do not see anybody or I kill them, I will repeat this process of shooting a bullet and waiting till I see someone again. Now, the reason this monolithic suppressor comes in handy is so that when you shoot that initial bullet, people are not going to know where you are, which makes it easier to get those shortly after reloading kills. Believe me, I have died over and over and over again because of people being able to see where I shot, and I'm just dead. Now, thankfully, shipment has been in the 24/7 playlist on and off quite a bit. This is going to be super easy to get these shortly after reloading kills. As soon as you load into shipment, as soon as you respawn, shoot a bullet, instantly reload, and run out. If you get a couple kills, go ahead and repeat that, reload, try and find more people. Again, like I mentioned, this has just been a lot easier since the update that upped the time for the shortly after reloading kills, so this should be able to be completed pretty easily. For our last challenge, we are going over mounted kills. I find that sometimes shipment can be really good for mounted kills, and other times it's just absolutely trash. I don't know why, but it's just how it is. Some lobbies are just aids, some aren't. You guys know how that goes. My only recommendation for this is to mount on as many objects as you can. Shipment, one of the big spawn points is in the middle of the map when playing like Hardpoint or Headquarters or Domination even. I've seen people mount on the middle crates and wait for people to spawn in the middle and be able to get a ton of mount kills there. What I like to do is just from my spawn go onto one of the barrels in whatever corner of the map and mount on there and wait for people to walk around. Now, although that you're probably going to die a lot trying to mount, I find that I'm able to complete this pretty easily. I had one subscriber quite a while back recommend going into your field upgrades and putting on the deployable cover so that you can mount wherever you want. I would not recommend this for shipment, just because by the time that you put it down and get able to mount on it, you're probably already going to be dead. This is probably going to be better for your longer range maps or your slower paced maps. Again, just mount on as many objects as you can, watch around corners, mount. If you see someone and you're behind them, find the nearest object to mount on and kill them that way. Now for my additional tip, pretty much the only thing that I wanted to go over is making sure that you're tying in as many challenges as you can together, such as hipfire and crouch kills, or long shots and mounted kills. The more challenges that you tie in together, the easier and the faster you will complete the gold camo. Like I was saying, hipfire, crouch kills, absolutely a really good one to go for. This is one of my favorite ones to complete together. A lot of times with the long shots, you're going to need to mount on something anyways. You can do it that way, and you're killing two birds with one stone. Now, last but not least, we're going to be going over to my class setup. I'm not going to be going over each one too much. I'm just going to go over my attachments. I have a full video on it, which I will leave down in the description. First, I put on the monolithic suppressor to up my damage range and my sound suppression. The 13.1 inch first responder, again, to help with that damage range, and also not losing too much of my aim down sight speed. I run the tac laser to help with that aim down sight speed, which actually helps a lot. Unfortunately, enemies can see the laser, but with how much it helps with the aim down sight speed, I just find that it's worth using. Next, I run the GI mini reflex. This is my absolute favorite reflex. Of course, use whatever you like. Last but not least, I run the stippled grip tape. This again is going to help with that aim down sight speed and your sprint to fire speed, which is very much needed. In Modern Warfare, it is very important to have your gun up as fast as possible, more important than other games because of the time to kill. So that's why I chose the attachments that I did. I use this gun a lot. I actually like it quite a bit, and I hope that you guys do too. But anyways, this will be the end of my video. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see y'all in the next one.